Thank you, Presiding Officer. And like others, let me thank Joan McAlpin for the opportunity to speak on this subject. And as is often the case when I have a new intern, Chase Lindeman started with me yesterday, I set them the challenge of writing a speech for me. So Chase has written tonight's speech. Now, Chase has come from the United States. He's not been to Scotland before, but I think it's an indication of the reach of Burns that in a very short space of time he's produced what I think is an insightful and interesting speech on Robert Burns. One of the things he's identified is that Sophie Craig, who's a 16-year-old member of the Alloway Burns Club in Ayr, has been given the opportunity to travel to Hungary to promote the works of Robert Burns. She'll be reciting poetry and songs at the Corinthia Hotel for over 300 guests, helping to raise money for sick and disadvantaged children in Central Europe. So the financial benefits of Robert Burns are more diverse than perhaps even we, selfishly looking in our own mirror, thought about. She is a young adult showcasing the power that Robert Burns' poetry has to unite people in all walks of life. A poem like To a Mouse transcends socioeconomic status, allowing all and any to delight in the humorous comparisons and linkages between the lives of mice and men. The universality of his message makes it easy for Burns' poetry to reach non-Scottish ears. And of course, his poems permeate the minds of people across the planet. The likes of haggis and whisky spread likewise, introducing more to Scottish culture, Scottish cuisine. And well done to the Parliament's canteen for providing the haggis today. Alas, no whisky, but ho-hum, there we are. Between 2011 and 2015, we exported £4.85 million worth of haggis to 28 different countries. And of course, whisky has enjoyed an increase in exports. In 2013, 1.3 billion bottles were exported, worth £4.37 million. Tourism is a... Yes, I will.
John Scott.
It's my understanding that the Scottish Government has secured access to the American market for haggis now. Can you confirm that that is indeed correct, Mr Stevenson?
Stewart Stevenson.
A whisper tells me it might be Canada. The States may still be off. But I think, and I'm prepared to be corrected if necessary, that there are now some quite good vegetarian haggises, and I believe some of them are going to the States. Hopefully, the real thing will follow quite soon. Returning to tourism, though, very important part of our economy, and Burns is an important part of why people come here. The tartan, the bagpipes, whisky tours, and of course our history, of which Burns is an important part. So thank you to Robert Burns for creating the opportunity and helping us there. And of course, his poetry covers a wide range of themes, from quite short poems to narrative tales of wonderful complexity and interest. And of course, the use of the Scots language has helped to introduce 20 million Scots-Americans to the language of their ancestry. I note today that Kenneth Gibson circulated a motion asking us to rename Glasgow Prestwick Airport to Robert Burns International Airport. I'm sure John Scott will be on that case. That would be a good thing for Prestwick and a good thing for Burns. Now, of course, Burns clubs don't just exist as a means of cherishing the life and poetry of Robert Burns. They encourage the young to take an interest in the poet and poetry in general, and songs and competitions. Clubs are an avenue for people of all social classes. 25th of January, people in Atlanta, Georgia, and Budapest, all the way down to Bendigo in Australia, will celebrate the birth of our bard. And members of international Burns clubs will join millions of Scots partaking in an evening of haggis, whisky and poetry recital. For my part, personally, I look forward to visiting your constituency shortly, Presiding Officer, with my colleague Ruth Maguire. I'm sure you will lay out the red carpet for us as we come to speak on Burns. My favourite place, the most prestigious place I've spoken, was in the British Embassy in Paris, which is the most wonderful building where I spoke to a Burns supper, and I have in the United States and elsewhere. The Heaven Sent Ploughman has sent us a lot of enormous value. But I can't help, before sitting down, reminding members that the Burns family actually came from the northeast of Scotland. Presiding Officer.